أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله والصلاة والسلام على النبي الأمي المكي المدني البدري القرشي الهاشمي بالقاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الصادقين إنهم سفينة النجاة ومصباح الهدى ولعنة الله على الأعداء أجمعين من يومنا هذا إلى قيام يوم الدين أما بعد قد قال إمام جعفر الصادق عليه السلام السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله صلوات على محمد وآله One more salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. The topic which I had picked for this Ashra-e-Awwal here at IEC Husaini has been Imam al-Husain Waris-e-Anbiya. That Imam al-Husain is the inheritor of the prophets. And where I left the discussion yesterday was that you find that the position of imamat was that position which inherited from prophethood. That the imams are those individuals that protected the teachings of the prophets. And this is why inheritance is of two types. That there is maddi and manavi inheritance. There is material and spiritual inheritance. And when we say that Imam al-Husain is the inheritor of the prophets, we're not saying that he is a material inheritor, we're saying he's a spiritual inheritor. Because the difference between the two is this, is that a material inheritor becomes an inheritor by receiving, but the inheritance of Imam al-Husain is unique because he became an inheritor by adding to the message of the prophets and by saving the message of the prophets. And I continue with this ziyarat in which today I'll analyze the line where the Imam says, As-salamu alayka ya waritha Adama sifwatillah. That salam upon you, O Hussein, the inheritor of Adam, the chosen one of Allah. You know, before I get into that, there's one more benefit of this ziyarat I'd like to mention. Because a person can't truly appreciate something unless he knows its benefit oftentimes. That our sixth Imam would say about this ziyarat and its importance is that the one who recites this ziyarat every single morning, I, Jafar as-Sadiq alayhi salam, am one salawat ala Muhammad wa I, Jafar as-Sadiq, will protect him from every single trouble within this world. That this is the level of this ziyarat. And you know, when they put reward in something, the purpose of putting a reward in an act is not that because that act is the ends, but rather it's because the act is the means. For example, that you hear the reward for going on ziyarah towards Imam al-Husain, as I mentioned yesterday, that for every step you take in the land of Karbala is the reward of one Hajj. That why is there so much reward within this? That oftentimes you find another narration which will say that the reward of prayer is this, that the reward of something is this. Or for example, the reward of shedding a tear for Imam al-Husain is Jannah. That what is the purpose of this? You know, let me give you an example. That when a parent is trying to feed his child, that he says, I'll give you a toy, I'll give you something for you to eat this thing. Now, what is the purpose of the parent? Is the purpose of the parent to give him that toy, to give him that thing? No. Rather, the purpose of the parent is for him to eat the food. In the same way, when Allah puts a reward within something, the purpose of Allah is not just to give us a reward, rather because that act has a benefit for us. That when shedding one drop for Imam al-Husain of tears gives you Jannat, Allah wants you to shed these tears because through these tears you develop as a human being. That there is a development within this. And you find that the prophets were sent to develop mankind. That each prophet, whether it was Hazrat Adam, Nuh, Musa, Ibrahim, Isa, or our final prophet, that they wanted humankind to grow. And had humankind kept growing and growing in the time of the prophets and there was no one to protect the teaching of the prophets, then that effort would have been wasted. That's why the hadith says, لَوْلَاكَ لَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْأَفْلَاكَ. That, O Prophet of God, if I didn't create you, I would not have created the universe. Then the hadith continues, وَلَوْلَا عَلِيكَ لَمَا خَلَقْتُكَ. And had I not created Ali, I would not have created you. And then it says, وَلَوْلَا فَاطِمَةَ لَمَا خَلَقْتُكُمَا. That if I didn't create Fatima, I would not have created the both of you. Why? Because had the Prophet not been sent, then the purpose of human beings could not have been fulfilled. Thus, if the Prophet was not there, there is no purpose for creating the universe. And had Amir al-Mu'mineen not been there, then the message of the Prophet would have been lost. Thus, there would be no need for having the Prophet. And had Bibi Fatima to Zahra not been there to connect Risalat to Imamat, then the purpose of Amir al-Mu'mineen and Rasulullah would have been lost. One salawat ala Muhammad wa alim. And you find that this position of Imamat, it inherited from the prophets by protecting the prophets. Now I come to the line, Assalamu alayka ya waritha Adam as-siffatillah. That who is Adam? What is this Adam? That it goes without saying that people recognize Adam as Abul Bashar, the father of mankind. And when he is known as Abul Bashar, you have a right to inheritance from him as well as everybody, since we're all the children of Adam. That what are the two things which we are inheriting from Hazrat Adam? The first is Surat, the other is Sirat. The first is our appearance, that we appear as human beings. That this is logical, this is a simple point. The other is that we have human tendencies which we are inheriting from him. That every single person within the world has natural human tendencies. If you go somewhere within a village in South America or a village in Africa, you find that there are certain tendencies which are found good wherever you go. That if you ask a person in Africa that is killing someone bad, they'll reply yes. That the impact of culture does not have any impact on those tendencies because they're natural within the human being. And you find that they come from Hazrat Adam. In the same way we call Imam al-Husayn Aba Abdullah, the father of the servants of Allah. And if he is our father in that spiritual sense, because we do ibadat, we have a right to inheritance from Imam al-Husayn. And we as the Shias, what is our inheritance from Imam al-Husayn? That our inheritance from Imam al-Husayn is ziyarat. That ziyarat is the miras of Imam al-Husayn. And you find in the same way that Imam al-Husayn left a miras, Bibi Zainab left a miras, and the miras of Bibi Zainab is this azadari. That this azadari is the miras of Bibi Zainab and ziyarat is the miras of Imam al-Husayn. Thus we give so much importance to azadari and ziyarat and we try to protect it. That this is the right we have from Imam al-Husayn. Now I come towards Hazrat Adam. When you examine the life of Hazrat Adam, you find that there are 4 unique things that Hazrat Adam had which stick out from the stories within his life, which Imam al-Husayn inherited, preserved, and took it to a higher level. The first thing you will notice from Hazrat Adam is that Adam had humanity, insaniyat. The second thing which Hazrat Adam represented was guidance, hidayat. The third thing which Hazrat Adam represented was ilm, knowledge. And the fourth thing which he had from the stories, which I'll explain later, is respect. That these 4 things, humanity, knowledge, respect, guidance. That how did Hazrat Adam had humanity? That he was the first of Allah's creations, that Allah created him first. And whenever somebody creates something first, oftentimes the first thing has defects. They call it the prototype. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He created Hazrat Adam, He created him in such a way of perfection that He Himself says, تَبَارَكَ الَّذِي أَحْسَنُ الْخَالِقِينَ. That blessed is Allah, the one who created the humans in the best of forms. That for no other creation did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say this. You know, Imam Ali says in Nahjul Balagha, that whenever you want to understand the Quran in depth, look at Nahjul Balagha, because Nahjul Balagha is the mirror for the Quran. That sometimes we as human beings, we can't see ourselves. So what do? We look at a mirror to see ourselves. In the same way that if you're not getting the Quran, you can't understand it, look at Nahjul Balagha to understand the Quran. Because where the Quran stops, Nahjul Balagha, it begins. And you find that with Hazrat Adam, the Imam Ali says in his first khutbah when talking about the creation of Adam, he says that Allah created Adam in such a way that he did not have to think, that he did not have to go through any thought process. He said, Kun fayakun, be, and Hazrat Adam, he became. That this is the human being, that Allah took pride in the creation of the human being. This is why a human has potential. That Imam Ali would say that, oh human being, you think you're something small, but the entire universe is within you. That the entire universe is within you, O human being. One salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And this is why the human being has a potential to be better than the angels. Why? Because we are that creation which has both desire and intellect, aql. That when you look at the angels are only intellect, they don't have desire. And then on the other side, you have animals. Animals are only desire and they have no intellect. But the human being is that creation where two different worlds collide. The world of desire and the world of intellect. And if a human being, through his aql, through his intellect, is able to conquer his desires, he is able to be better than the angels. That this is the status of the human being. You know, the narrations of the Prophet say about aql, that when Hazrat Adam was created, he was presented with three things. I know it's slow right now, but I'll pick up through it. That he was presented with three things. That he was presented with aql, intellect. He was presented with deen, religion. And he was presented with haya, modesty. That Allah said to Adam, oh Adam, pick one thing and the other two will go away. That what did Hazrat Adam pick? Did he pick deen? Did he pick modesty? No, Hazrat Adam, he picked aql, intellect. And when he picked intellect, Allah says, these other two things will stay with you. For wherever aql is, intellect is, over there is modesty and over there is religion. That the religion of Islam is a religion of logic. This is why we emphasize logic and aql so much. That the Prophet would also say that a person is rewarded for his acts according to his intellect. That they say that the sleep of an alim is better than the worship of an ignorant person. That even if an alim is sleeping at night, his sleep is better than the worship of an ignorant person. Why? Because an alim, when he goes to sleep, he knows that he fulfilled his duties to society, towards Allah, towards his family. Then he goes to sleep. That he knows when's the best time. Now I say that if a person is rewarded according to the level of his intellect, and on the other side you have the Prophet saying that the strike of Ali on the day of Khandaq is better than the worship of the human beings and the jinn. This goes to show that the intellect of Amir al-Mu'mineen is on one side and the intellect of every single other creation is on the other side. That the aql of Ali outweighs the aql of every other creation. That when you... That this is what Fazail is about. When you listen to the virtues of Ahlul Bayt, try to get the deeper meanings to them, because you've heard that hadith about the strike of Amir al-Mu'mineen being greater than the worship of everything, but try to make connections and understand the depth to it. So the first thing, which Hazrat Adam, as I said, he represented humanity. That when Hazrat Adam was created, the angel said, "Ataj'alu fiha may yufsidu fiha wa yasfiqu ad-dima?" That you're creating a creation who's going to cause corruption on the earth and shed blood. You know, the angels, they said this, but they didn't know the potential of a human being. So Allah replied to the angels by saying, Inni alamu la ma ta'lamun. That inni alamu ma la ta'lamun, that I know what you don't know. And as time goes on, you find that corruption was upon this earth. It's not far-fetched to say that the angels would look at these incidents and say to Allah, that, oh Allah, what is this human being doing that you said he was so great? But a time time would come that they would see Ali on the night of Hijrat. And it's not far-fetched that Allah would look at the angels and say, Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun, that I know what you don't know. Time would go on, and then Karbala would come, and Allah would say that look at the potential of the human beings, that when you were belittling the human being, I knew that the human being had the potential to reach the highest of levels. That this is what it means to be the waris of Adam for Imam al-Hussein. That Hazrat Adam, he represented humanity and human potential, but Imam al-Hussein took humanity and the potential of the human being towards the maximum level. That Assalamu alayka ya waritha Adama sifatillah. That what is the second connection? What is the second thing which Hazrat Adam had? The second thing which he had was respect. That Allah commanded the angels to prostrate in front of Adam. That they say that isn't this shirk? That Allah is telling the angels to prostrate in front of Adam. The Masumeen reply by saying that the sajda of Adam was not a sajda of ibadat, it was a sajda of ita'at. That it was not a sajda of worship, it was a sajda of obedience. The same way when we give virtue and precedence to Ahlul Bayt, it's not that we are doing ibadat of them, we are doing ita'at of them, obedience towards them. That it's not that Ali is God. One poet would say that it's not that Ali is our God, it's how great is our God that He made a creation like Ali. That how great is our God that He made a creation like Ali. That if you say Ali is God, the greatness of Amir al-Mu'mineen is lost. Why? Because to see the virtues which Ali had, that's nothing big for the Creator. But to be the servant of Allah and to be at that level, that is a different level of greatness. So you find that the angels, they prostrated in front of Adam. But how is Imam al-Hussein the inheritor on this respect? You find that our 11th Imam, Imam Hassan al-Askari, salawatu wassalamu alayhi. Our 11th Imam would say that Allah only ordered the angels to prostrate in front of Adam after our nur was placed in the loins of Adam. That this is what it means for Imam al-Hussein to be the waris of Adam. That if Adam has respect, then he has respect because of Imam al-Hussein. That he has respect because of Imam al-Hussein. That remember I said the inheritance of Imam al-Hussein was about giving, not receiving from anyone. That this is that level, this is that nur through which Hazrat Adam, the angels were ordered to prostrate in front of Adam for. And you find that about this nur, our 6th Imam would say that Shi'atuna khuliqat min fadli thinatin. That our Shia were created from that leftover clay which was used to create us. That this is the hadith of our 6th Imam. And since the essence of the Imams is nur, then that clay must have been mixed with nur. That when in your heart you have the nur of vilayat of Ahlul Bayt, that within your heart you have the nur of the muhabbat of Ahlul Bayt, that within your heart you have the knowledge and the nur of Allah, this is because it came from the leftover clay of the Imams. That within the Lawh al-Mahfuz is an area of the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On that Lawh al-Mahfuz, the names of the Shias of Amir al-Mu'mineen were written. That our Imam al-Hussein would say that the names of my companions were written on the Lawh al-Mahfuz. That on that tablet where every single piece of knowledge was, their names were written. This is why Imam al-Hussein, when he went on his journey, why did he leave in Rajab? That he could have left in Shaban, he could have left in Safar the previous year, he could have left any other month, but he knew that there was one more soldier in his army he was waiting for. And in that month of Rajab, that 6-month-old baby who would be 6 months on the day of Ashura, he was born there in Rajab, Hazrat Ali Asghar. That Imam al-Hussein, he was waiting for something. That the first aspect, that Hazrat Adam had respect, and Imam al-Hussein's nur through which the angels prostrated in front of Adam, this is why Hazrat Adam had respect. The second reason as to how Hazrat Adam had respect was that he was forgiven. that Hazrat Adam, he committed his tark-e-awla, that he didn't commit a sin. A prophet cannot commit a sin. A prophet is ma'soom. When they said not only is a prophet ma'soom, but you'll see through this example the lineage of a prophet is ma'soom. Because when they accused Bibi Maryam of adultery, what did she do? She pointed towards Hazrat Isa who was in his cradle. And Hazrat Isa began to speak. He says, Inni Abdullah atani al-kitaba wa ja'alani nabiyya. That I ask, oh Hazrat Isa, that they're accusing your mother of adultery. And when she points to you, you're saying that I have been given the book and I have been made a Nabi. Doesn't it seem like you're not answering the question? That, if you asked me before the majlis, what is my topic for today? And I replied to you by saying that, oh, on the way here, I came in this car, I entered through that door, I sat in that spot. You would say, why aren't you answering the question? But when you look into further analysis to this, that you find that the question was being answered. That when they said, oh, Maryam, that you are an adulteress, and Hazrat Isa replies that I have been made the servant of Allah and I've been given the book, I am a prophet. This goes to show that Hazrat Isa is saying that not only am I masoom and infallible, my mother is also infallible. That the entire lineage of a masoom is pure. The entire lineage of a prophet is masoom and pure. One salawat ala Muhammad. So when Hazrat Adam made his mistake, he came down upon this earth, he was crying. When he was crying, Allam al-Majlisi within Hayat al-Qulub, that many of the stories which I tell over the next 10 days, that if you want their source, from amongst the sources I've been using is Hayat al-Qulub of Allam al-Majlisi. And he divided this book into 3 volumes. The first volume is about the narrations of Ahl al-Bayt, about the prophets, or the Prophet. The second volume is about the Sirat of Rasulullah, and the third volume is about the Imams. Now within Hayat al-Qulub, Allam al-Majlisi quotes a narration which says that when Hazrat Adam was sent to the earth and he was trying to ask for forgiveness, he wasn't being forgiven. So what did he do? He said, Allahumma inni asaluka bihaqqi Muhammad wa anta al-Mahmud, wa bihaqqi Ali wa anta al-Ala, wa bihaqqi Fatima wa anta fatiru samawati wal-ard, wa bihaqqi Muhsin wa anta qadim al-ihsan, wa bihaqqi al-Hasan wa anta al-Muhsin, wa bihaqqi al-Husain wa anta qadim al-ihsan. That Allah, I ask bihaqqi Muhammad wa anta al-Mahmud. I ask through the right of Muhammad and you are Mahmud. I ask through the right of Ali and you are Ala. I ask through the right of Fatima and you're the originator of the heavens and the earth. I ask through the right of Hassan and you're Muhsin. And I ask through the right of Hussein and you're Qadim al-Ihsan. That the first dua which was made upon this earth was made through the intercession of Ahlul Bayt. That look at this now, that if Hazrat Adam has respect because he was forgiven, then he has that respect because he was forgiven through the name of Imam al-Hussein and the Panjatan. That this is the inheritance of Imam al-Hussein. So the second aspect, which Imam al-Hussein was the inheritor of Hazrat Adam, was the fact that Hazrat Adam had respect. The third aspect of Imam al-Hussein being the inheritor of Hazrat Adam is the fact that Hazrat al-Adam had hidayat, guidance, that he was the first individual who was sent upon this earth. And the job of the first individual, the first human being, is to teach the human beings on how to live. That you look at this fact, that if the religion of Allah is coming towards us, that none of us are receiving revelation directly, that when Allah wanted to send His religion to us, He sent Hazrat Adam, He sent the prophets to us. That if Allah at point A can use an intermediary at point B to reach us at point C, why can't we use that intermediary to reach Allah again? That we are over here. Allah brought the religion through an intermediary, Hazrat Adam, the prophets, that the Imams were there to protect the religion, then why can't we use them to go back towards Allah? That this is what the religion of Allah is about. That it says within the Quran, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم, that guide us to the straight path. But it doesn't just stop right there. The next verse says, Sirat al-ladina anamta alayhim, the path of those individuals whom you have blessed. I say, oh Allah, if it's only about you without using a wasila, then why are you saying the path of those individuals whom you blessed? That when you even look at this word sirat mustaqim, you find that this word, these two words, they have 12 letters. That the word sirat mustaqim has 12 letters. And then if you say that it's as-sirat al-mustaqim, then it turns out it has 14 letters. So it turns out that sirat al-mustaqim is either a path of 12 or it's a path of 14. Further than that, you continue. It says, Sirat al-ladina anamta alayhim. That what is this anamta? You know, when many mufassir of the Quran, they give the tafsir to anamta, they say that the alif in anamta is for imamat, the noon in anamta is for nabuwat, the ain in anamta is for adalat, the mim in anamta is for ma'ad, yani qiyamat, and the ta in anamta is for tawheed. So the straight path of 12 and 14, the path of those individuals whom you have blessed, is that path which has the Shia usul ad-din within it. One salawat ala Muhammad wa alim. That Allah sent Adam upon this earth as that guide. Because Allah doesn't go directly, He uses intermediaries. And when He sent Adam, He said what? He said, Inni ja'ilun fil ardin khalifa. That I am sending a khalifa upon this earth. That Allah uses the word ja'ala. The ja'ala means I am appointing. And then on the other side, you find that there is a word called ba'asa. Ba'asa means to send. That when Allah is talking about a caliph, He uses the word ja'ala, meaning I am appointing. That whenever you look in the Quran, when it comes to a position of authority, Allah always uses the word ja'ala. That in the Quran, about Nabi Ibrahim, it says, Inni ja'iluka linnasi imama. That I make you an imam for mankind. And over here it says that I'm appointing you as the caliph upon this earth. That meaning the caliph isn't appointed by Allah, a caliph isn't appointed by the people, he is appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That on the other hand, I said that the other word was ba'asa, to send. That when the Quran talks about ba'asa, in the verse of Surah Al-Jumu'ah, it says, Yusabbihu lillahi ma fis samawati ma fil ardi al-malik al-quddus al-aziz al-hakim huwa alladhi ba'asa fil ummiyina rasulam minhum. That when it talks about a prophet, Allah doesn't use the word, I am making a prophet. He is saying, I am sending a prophet. Meaning that he was already a prophet, then he was sent towards that community. And this is why the Prophet would say, Kuntu nabiyun wa Adamu bayna ma'i wa teen. That I was a prophet when Adam was in between clay and water. That Kuntu nabiyan wa Adamu bayna ma'i wa teen. History narrates that the Prophet was in Masjid al-Nabawi. That he was in Masjid al-Nabawi. He says, Kuntu nabiyan wa Adamu bayna ma'i wa teen. Then Rasulullah repeats that line a second time. He repeats that line a third time. Everyone's wondering that why is the Prophet, is he repeating this line? What's the reason behind him repeating this line? History says that he was waiting for a person, because at that moment, Amir al-Mu'mineen, he walks into the mosque and he says, Kuntu waliyan wa Adamu bayna ma'i wa teen. That wherever prophethood was, imamat and wilayat has been right next to prophethood. One salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. That Hazrat Adam started the system of guidance, and Imam al-Husayn is the protector of the system of guidance and hidayat. That what is the fourth thing that Hazrat Adam had? That Hazrat Adam, he had knowledge, that he was known for his ilm. The Quran says, Allama Adama asmaha kullaha. That we taught Adam the names. You know, there's an interesting narration. It talks about the Asma al-Azam, the great names of Allah. You know, the prophets, they would be able to perform miracles. And I'm saying it for these children who are in front of me, because many of the older ones, they know what the Asma al-Azam are, what they stand for. That the Asma al-Azam, that the prophets would be able to perform miracles through the knowledge of these Asma al-Azam. One narration says that they asked our fifth Imam, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, salawatu wa salamu alayhi. They asked him about the story of Nabi Sulaiman. They said to the Imam that could Nabi Sulaiman not have brought the throne himself? That in the story of Nabi Sulaiman, they had to go get the throne from the Queen of Sheba. That he said, can anyone bring this throne? One man said that I can bring that throne. That one of the jinn said, I can bring a throne before you stand up. But then somebody said, I can bring a throne before the blink of an eye. They asked Imam Muhammad al-Baqir that why did Nabi Sulaiman have to ask someone, could he not have brought the throne himself? The Imam replies by saying that Nabi Sulaiman, he had the ability to bring the throne himself, but he wanted the ummah to know what the status of his wali and successor were. But the narration doesn't stop there. They said that Asif bin Barkhia, who was the successor of Nabi Sulaiman, who would bring the throne, that Asif bin Barkhia, who had the ability to bring that throne all the way between Yemen and Palestine and Yemen and Palestine, that he only had knowledge of one of the Asma al-Azam. That Asif bin Barkhia had knowledge of one Asma al-Azam. Then the Imam continues. He says that Hazrat Isa had knowledge of two Asma al-Azam by which he would bring the dead back to life. Then the Imam continues by saying that Hazrat Musa had knowledge of 4. Hazrat Nuh had knowledge of 8. Hazrat Ibrahim had knowledge of 14. Hazrat Adam had knowledge of 24. But the Imam would say that us, the Ahlul Bayt, we have 72 out of the 73 Asma al-Azam. And the only reason why Allah didn't give us all 73 is that He wanted to differentiate that He is the creator and we are the creation. That He is the creator and we are the creation. And those 72 Asma al-Azam, we are the manifestations of those 72 Asma al-Azam. And that one Asma al-Azam which we don't have, we are also the manifestations of that. That this is the narration, that this is knowledge, that Ahlul Bayt were giving knowledge of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That when it comes to knowledge, you find that human beings are divided into 4 categories. That there are 4 categories when it comes to knowledge. The first individual is that person who doesn't know, but he doesn't know that he doesn't know. That I could have picked more efficient wordings, but I feel like you'll remember it this way. The first person is that individual who doesn't know, but he doesn't know that he doesn't know. This person is ignorant because he doesn't have knowledge, yet he doesn't know he doesn't have knowledge, and thus he misguides other people. The second type of person, in pertainance towards knowledge, is that person who doesn't know, but he knows that he doesn't know. That he doesn't know, but at least he knows. This person is like a student. That although he doesn't have knowledge, he admits, oh Allah, I don't know, I'm here to learn. The third person, in terms of knowledge, is that person who knows, but he doesn't know that he knows. That this person has potential, that he can impact the community, but he doesn't know this yet. This person needs a push forward, that somebody has to encourage him. But then there is this fourth select category of individuals, that these individuals, they know, and they know that they know. And when you look in history for these individuals, there was nobody except Amir al-Mu'mineen who would sit on the mimbar and say, Saluni, Saluni, qabla an tafkiduni, that ask me before you lose me, for I know the path of the heavens better than the path of the earth. It's narrated that when Amir al-Mu'mineen said this, that a man came in. He said to Amir al-Mu'mineen that, where is Jibra'il, O Ali? That, oh Ali, you say, ask me before you lose me, where is Jibra'il? Imam, he is on the mimbar. He looks straight ahead. That the Imam, he looks everything ahead of him. Then the Imam looks towards his left. That the Imam, he looked into the depths of the oceans. He looked towards the entire world towards his left. Then the Imam, he looks towards his right. When he looks towards his right, he looks through the depths of the deserts, through everything. The Imam, he looks up at the sky. That he looks into the vastness of the sky. He looks down towards the ground. He looks into the depths of the earth. And then he ponders for a moment. When he ponders for a moment, he says that I looked in every single direction and I didn't find Jibra'il. This only leaves two possibilities. Those possibilities are this. It's that either I am Jibra'il or you are Jibra'il. And since I am Ali ibn Abi Talib, then you must be Jibra'il. That Jibra'il had came in the shape of a man towards Amir al-Mu'mineen to ask that question. That this is ilm-e-imamat. You know, in Surah Ar-Rahman, the ayat which says Allamahul Bayan, that Allamahul Bayan, that what is this? That many of the Mufassireen say that this term Allamahul Bayan, the power of speech, is a reference to the ilm of Ahlul Bayt. That the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt is what differentiates them from all of society. That these are those individuals that are a step higher. Let me give you an example. In the battle of Siffin, that Imam Ali, he goes towards the battlefield. When he goes out, the Imam has his sword. A man says to the Imam that, oh Ali, I've heard that you never deny the request of a beggar. The Imam said, this is true. He says, then give me your sword. The Imam Ali gives the man his sword. At that moment, the man, he raises his sword. He says to Amir al-Mu'mineen that, look at the situation now. I have your sword and you have nothing. I am raising it against you. Oh Ali, who will protect you? The Imam replies by saying, my Allah will protect me. At that moment, that man, he became a Muslim. He converted to the religion of Islam. Now look at the difference between an Imam and anyone else. Anyone else in that situation, he would have killed the man. But the Imam, he brought him to the straight path. That the Imam is not looking to only kill a disbeliever, a kafir. When Ali went towards the battlefield, he didn't go just to kill a disbeliever and kafir. He went to kill the entire entity of kufr and disbelief. That other individuals, they kill a kafir. Amir al-Mu'mineen, he kills kufr itself. That this is why they say that the ink of a scholar is greater than the blood of a martyr. Because the blood of a martyr, when a martyr dies, when he goes towards jihad, that he is trying to kill disbelievers. Those are against the path of Allah. But the ink of a scholar through knowledge can kill the entire entity of kufr. That this is what these individuals are. That knowledge, Adam was given knowledge of the names. That Adam had knowledge, but Imam al-Hussein took that knowledge towards another level. And you find that on this day, knowledge was made a reference to when Imam al-Hussein, he called Hazrat Habib ibn al-Mazahir. That when he wrote his letter towards Habib, what did he say? He said, Min al-Hussein al-Gharib ila al-Rajul al-Faqih. That this is what the Imam said towards Hazrat Habib. That they say that a messenger comes towards the door of Habib. That he says, Ana Baridul Hussein. That I am the messenger of the Imam. Could you imagine how much happiness Habib must have felt in his heart? That the messenger of his Imam was coming towards him. That maybe there was some good news coming. That man, the messenger, he gives Habib a letter. When he gives Habib the letter, Habib, he kisses the letter. He places the letter on his eyes. He opens the letter. He reads within that letter, Min al-Hussein al-Gharib ila al-Rajul al-Faqih. That this letter is from Hussein, the one who is Gharib. That I say, oh Mawla, you could have said that this is from Hussein, the son of Fatima. Oh Mawla, you could have said that this is from Hussein, the son of Ali. But you're writing to Habib, Min al-Hussein al-Gharib. Habib, he sees the letter. He sits on the ground and he begins to cry. The wife of Habib says, oh Habib, what's happened, oh Habib? Habib replies by saying a letter from the Imam had come, that Hussein is within trouble. The wife of Habib replies by saying, that, oh Habib, are you going to go help Hussein? Habib at that moment, he wanted to take the test of his wife. He said to her that I'm thinking thinking about it. Habib only had to say this, that the wife of Habib says, oh Habib, that if you stay here, I will go and help the son of Fatima to Zahra myself. Habib says to his wife that I was only taking your test, that I'm going towards Karbala. That Habib told his servant that wait outside with the horse while I get my things. The servant, he started speaking, he started waiting. He would speak to the horse and he would say to it that, oh, if Habib doesn't come, I'll take you, we'll go towards Karbala. That look how alone Imam al-Hussein is. That Imam al-Hussein is this alone. Habib and his servant, they're going towards Karbala. When the companions see that Habib is getting over there, they started a chance of happiness, that this caravan, which has only had sadness in this whole trip, that they've had no water, they've had nothing, they are happy. At that moment when Habib comes, the sound of this happiness, it goes towards Bibi Zainab. She says towards Fizza, oh Fizza, oh Fizza, what has happened? That why is there noise, oh Fizza? Fizza replies by saying that Habib has come, oh Bibi. Bibi Zainab says towards her, the Fizza, that oh Fizza, send my salams towards Habib. When Habib hears the salams of Bibi Zainab, he falls on the plains of Karbala. He throws his turban on the ground. He says, what kind of a day has come on this Ahlul Bayt, that Zainab is sending her salams upon a servant like Habib. That Habib ibn al-Mazahir was called by the Ahlul Bayt, that they say that Habibi went towards the battlefield. He's fighting, the time for prayer had come, that Imam wanted to perform his prayer. He says towards the army of Yazid, that stop firing your arrows. The son of Fatima to Zahra wants to perform his prayers. A man says to him, oh Habib, that his prayer won't be accepted anyways. Habib says that you're saying that the grandson of the Prophet's prayers won't be accepted, that this is Hussein, that when Hussein was on the back of Rasulullah, the Prophet would extend his prayer and his prayer won't be accepted. Habib, he starts fighting the enemies. A time had come where Habibi falls on the plains of Karbala. Imam, he comes towards the side of Habib. He says towards Habib, oh Habib, oh Habib. Then Habib says towards the Imam that, oh Imam, did I come useful towards you? I say, oh Habib, you fulfilled your promise towards the Imam in such a way that other people from Kufa, they rejected that promise. You know, after Karbala, when they were taking the head of Imam al-Hussein towards Kufa, that on one chain was Zainab, on one chain was Sakina, on one chain was Kulthum, that the wife of Habib, she saw that the servant of Habib was there. The wife of Habib says towards the servant that, oh servant, take this kafan towards Karbala. Take this kafan towards Karbala. The servant said that, why do you want me to take this kafan? She replied that this kafan is for Habib. I know that the people, out of respect, they must have buried Hussein, but the people of Kufa wouldn't bury Habib. When the servant, he gets towards Karbala, he looks at Karbala, the land of Karbala. He sees that there are 72 bodies within that land. He comes back towards the wife of Habib. She says that, why do you have the kafan? Why didn't you give it to Habib? He replies by saying, oh Bibi, you only gave me one kafan. There were 73. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون اللهم إني أسألك بحق فاطمة وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها. Ya Allah, in the name of Ali Muhammad, through the right of Ali Muhammad, whose intercession was used when Adam was asking for forgiveness, Ya Allah, we ask for forgiveness. Ya Allah, we pray for the mu'mineen throughout the world, wherever they are, whether it's in Iraq, whether it's in Saudi Arabia, whether it's in Bahrain or Pakistan, wherever they're oppressed. Ya Allah, we pray for their relief and for their lives to improve. Ya Allah, we ultimately, above all, we pray for the hastening of the reappearance of our Mawla Sahib al-Zaman. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم